todos, and welcome to your free Spanish lesson. My name is Ingrid Jackson, and I am your Spanish instructor. Before we start today, we're going to go over last week's homework, and here we go. Last week, among the other things that I taught you, one of them was to be able to greet a friend at your house in Spanish and have a small conversation with them and offer them a drink or two. And as part of your homework, what I did is I gave you a few words, which are drinks, and you were to find out the meaning of them. And that's with the exception of one. One of them is not a drink unless it melts, but hey, it's in there. So here we go. Here are your words that I gave you last week. Word número uno, jugo, jugo. Word número dos, cerveza, cerveza. Word número tres, helado, helado. Word número cuatro, gaseosa, gaseosa. Word número cinco, cóctel, cóctel. And the meaning for these words are up on the screen for you. So let's begin today's lesson. Before I start though, I do want to stress out how important it is for you to go back to lesson 1 if you just started here today. I stress this out constantly because I have created these lessons in such a way that it's kind of like a gradient. So if you start at lesson 1, I have repeated keywords and things enough and in such a way that you will be able to retain some of it. Hopefully all of it. But again, you have to start at lesson 1 and then move your way up. Otherwise, you may be a little bit lost today, but if you want to continue, hey, go on. But I strongly suggest that you do start at lesson 1 if you haven't already done so. Okay? Now, today we're going to talk about a couple of items of clothing. Now, I don't want you to be too concerned about these items because they're simply words that you can look up and find out what they mean, and for you it will be easy because you already know, for example, that the vowels in Spanish always sound flat, that the letters from the alphabet have the same sound as the ones in English, with the exception of 2 that I've already taught you. Please go back to the lessons from before, the previous lessons, and learn what those are. And so you can go based on that. Okay, so let's start with the first word. Zapato. Now, zapato means shoe. Okay, that's one shoe. But if you say zapatos, and you should know how to pluralize by now because I also taught you that. Again, go back to the previous lessons if you haven't already done so. So zapatos means many shoes. So if you're saying like a pair of shoes, un par de zapatos, a pair of shoes. Un par de zapatos. Now, if you were like saying Spain, you would say un par de zapatos because they pronounce the Z properly actually. Okay. Now, let's say you want to say, those are my shoes. Okay, so you're going to say, esos son mis zapatos. Esos son mis zapatos. Okay, those are my shoes. And you can say, esos son mis pantalones, pants. Esos son whatever. You can find out the meaning of the word of what you want to say, and you can say esos son mis whatever it is. Esos son mis plátanos. And you should know what that means by now. Okay? So basically that's how you would say that. Now, of course, we're talking about plural and masculine. Why is it masculine? And we discussed this before. if if the last vowel in the word is an O, we will refer to it as masculine. So since we're referring to zapatos and the last vowel, not that it ends with, it could, but if the last vowel is O, it's masculine. If the last vowel is A, is feminine. And yes, there's some exceptions to the rule, but it's a trick. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the zapatos. So esos son mis zapatos. Those are my shoes. Now, if you want to say one shoe, right? And again, you can use that with anything else as long as you're referring to masculine and plural, many of whatever you're referring to. So you can say esos son mis libros, books. Okay. Now, if you want to say for singular, okay, you will say ese es mi zapato. Ese es mi zapato. That is my shoe. Ese es mi zapato. And again, you can use that, and now you can understand why I said concentrate around the pieces of clothing and what we're talking about, and not so much about the items of clothing themselves. But hey, yeah, learn those too. So, ese es mi zapato. That is my shoe. That is my book. Libro. That is, okay, so ese es mi zapato. Ese es mi libro for book. Okay? And you can use that with any word, with any item rather, that you're saying it's yours, as long as it's singular and masculine. And follow the trick that I taught you for masculine stuff. You know how to refer to things, animals, and people. You know, we don't have it. Is we have feminine and masculine. Okay, so you're gonna use that. So I know it's not a lot, but I hope that that helps you when it comes to that. Okay, so esos son mis, fill in the blank. Okay, ese es mi, fill in the blank. Okay, esos son mis, plural. Ese es mi, singular. Okay, now if you want to say that table is mine. Now, table in Spanish is mesa. Now, because it ends, or the last vowel, it ends in this case, but the last vowel in the word is an A, we're going to treat it as the feminine, right? So we're going to say, esa es mi mesa, which is not an item of clothing, but let's say camisa, which is a shirt, okay? Esa es mi camisa. Again, esa es mi camisa. That is my shirt. So if you're going to refer to several shirts, plural, you're going to say, esas son mis camisas. Esas son mis camisas. And that's how you do that. Okay? Now, I know this is not a lot, but I know that it's a mouthful. So I want you to concentrate on that. Okay? Now, the next and last thing that I'm going to teach you for today, because I don't want, and trust me, we're just going to go over a lot of stuff. Just trust me with this. Okay? Now, the next thing that we're going to do is say, like, this is mine. This is mine. Esto es mío. Esto es mío. Okay. Let me cover the. This is mine. Okay. All right. This is mine. So that's basically how you would say that. Esto es mío. This is mine. Okay. Esto es. This is. Okay. Mine. And that's it for today as far as your lesson is concerned. We're going to go over some of this next week. So just to make sure that you have grasped it. Again, it's not complicated, but please practice it. Find, a few things. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I had a different homework set up for you, but that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and give you a few words. And what I want you to do is to say, eso es mío, or esos, just what we practiced today. Okay? So, here we go. And here are your words, basically your homework for today. First word, camisa. Camisa. Second word, casa. Casa. Third word, lápiz. Lápiz. We had this one before. Fourth word, zapatos. Zapatos. Fifth word, comida. Comida. Sixth word, perros. Perros. Seventh word, juego. Not jugo. Not jugo. Juego. 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 Eighth word, anillo. Anillo. Ninth word, aretes. 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 10th and last word, cepillos. Cepillos. And next week we're going to go over what you learned today. And then we're going to go over your homework. And then we're going to stretch out a little bit more on what you studied today. Again, I don't want to get technical. I don't want to use technical words because I don't want you to get hung up on them. I want you to just learn Spanish as simply as possible. And hopefully I'm doing a good job at it. Anyway, I want you to know that I have thoroughly enjoyed this as usual. I want to thank you for visiting me again. And I'll miss you. Until next week, I wish you all lots of buena suerte. Until then, bye-bye. Wait, I forgot to thank my new best friend, Liz, from the Jagged Edge Salon. They are wonderful. She did a mani and pedi for me, and I absolutely love it. So if you guys are in Las Vegas and you need a mani or a pedi, and they do a whole lot of other stuff there, your hair and all that stuff, give them a call. They're wonderful. And Liz, like I said, you're wonderful. Thank you so much for doing my beautiful nails. Take care. Bye-bye.